And then I'm going to just introduce what we are doing. So, hello to everyone who's
Hi.
joining us on YouTube and also here, of course, on Zoom. Every evening, Monday through Friday, I offer an 11-minute meditation, one card pull to bring ease, peace, and joy into your life based on all the isolation and stillness that we are all being asked to participate in. So, with the one card pull helps us to connect with a chakra, an affirmation, and also a number that has a hidden message. And in with the meditation, I ask each participant what their emotional level is at the time we meet. And then I ask again at the end of the meditation with the hopes that the emotional level has increased. So I'm going to start by asking Nick, what is your emotional level for today? From 1 to 10, 10, of course, you feel great. 1, you want to throw the covers over your head.
5.
A 5 today. Oh, I
Yeah,
haven't heard a 5 from you in a while.
it's been a while.
Yeah, yes. But based off what you just shared, I can understand why.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and Linda, for yourself,
I see a 6.
a 6? Okay, okay.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to bring forth some information based on astrology today. We are on the 16th of April, and on the 19th or 20th of April, we will be changing astrological signs from Aries into Taurus. And anytime we have an astrological shift, that may very well create an energetic shift within each individual. And for most, from what I've experienced, is most individuals get really tired during an astrological shift, and also a little bit moody and cranky because they're tired. So
Mhm.
if either one of you were experiencing that, perhaps I've shed some light onto why you're experiencing being a little tired and funky, in addition to everything that's going on with the isolation and stillness and quiet. So I hope that shed a little light if you were feeling that. And as usual, I'm shuffling up the cards to see what card pops out, to see what it is we need to focus on for today. Usually a card just flies out of the deck, as my cards were doing all day today. All right, got a card. It didn't fly out, but it did shoot out. And we'll be happy to know our card is not in reverse. Yay!
Yay. Yay.
Just for those who are
Mhm.
watching for the first time, what a card means when it's in reverse just means there's a lot of resistance. And also, the message is very important for us to hear. But today's card is upright. And the card is, I don't know if you can read it. I know my screen's a little blurry, but the affirmation is domestic harmony.
Mm.
So there's harmony coming into our family household based on tonight's reading.
Good.
And the chakra associated is the throat chakra. And I would probably assume, and I have to assume this because I currently am living on my own, am I alone during this isolation. So, in regards to communication for both of you and anyone else who's watching, how is the communication? And this is just something I want you to think about. How is the communication taking place in the household, and has it changed any since now you're literally being, I'm going to use the word forced to stay home and under the same roof with family members that probably throughout the regular course of life are usually going to work, or you're going to work, so you don't necessarily have to spend that much time in communication. And just sitting with that thought process on how that is impacting you or how it is affecting you. And we'll talk about that in a second. I'll get some feedback. And the number today is 22. So it is a master number. And again, for those who are new, the master numbers mean it's a higher calling. So if this was just a number 2 itself, the vibration of the 2 would just be about partnerships. But because this is a 22, and um, let me rephrase this a second. Let me go into the hidden message, which is a 4 energy. But the 4 energy is coming from a master number. So now, if
Mhm.
this was a regular 4, the energy of the 4 would just be about your foundation, your balance, your harmony. But because this 4 is coming from a master number, that 4 becomes the vibration of a higher, tapping into your higher self and building a foundation that serves your higher self, not your, like I like to call it, not your human self. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes? Okay. So now let's just go back to the double twos here. So that two energy is all about the partnerships that you do have in your household, and also the partnerships you have with those that you might not be seeing right now, such as coworkers, friends, significant others who you're in a relationship with. Maybe your partner is stuck someplace else where they can't get home to you as well. So it involves those people as well. But because it breaks down to a single digit of 4, it's really about building the foundation that serves your higher self, not just a regular foundation that I'm going to use the word here, your ego would want to develop. Because I'm sure if you had an opportunity to sit there and visualize what you would really want based on your ego, and then what based on that foundation that your ego would want, or what you would want based on your higher self. And I have a feeling that it would be very different based on what our higher self wants and what our ego wants. And I have this weird intuition saying right now, where being in isolation and not being able to go to the places we want to go to, see the people we want to see, and go shopping or whatever not, I think that's a perfect example of how that's all connected to the ego, so to speak, and the universe or God, whomever you want to connect it to, is now more or less taking that away to see what serves your higher self. So, as I always like to say, is when we eliminate the ego and we let go of the ego, that means people, places, and things, whatever serves you on a higher level, those things will return. And whatever doesn't return, it just means you've outgrown those situations. And that could very well be people as well. So places you might have outgrown, things that you used to like to buy, you might have outgrown, and then also people. And when this isolation and the COVID-19 moves into a new normal, we'll get to see what returns, which is now in alignment to your higher self. Does that make sense? Linda looks a little confused.
That makes sense, but I'm just trying to process it.
Yes, yes. Well, it is a lot to process, because it's like, okay, we're speaking about the ego, which is the human, and then we're speaking about the spiritual side, where it's like, well, what?
I think in some odd way it'll make sense after it's over.
Yes,
You'll look back on
yes.
it and be like, oh, okay.
Valid point there, because when we think about after it's over, we'll then get to see what comes back to us.
Right.
And what doesn't. Specifically people, which is what I just heard. It's like sometimes we're okay with certain places going and not going back to them. But when certain people sort of like disappear, it's like, what happened to them? Like, why did that end? And that was something I know for myself. I had a really challenging time understanding that for a really long time, when friendships would just suddenly just end with no explanation, or even worse, have a silly disagreement,
Right, yeah. Mhm.
and the relationship would be gone based on
Mhm.
something so silly that when you would really sit down and say, wow, that disagreement really broke off the relationship, like, weird. But then understanding this whole concept about when you raise your vibration and people do not go with you,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
not going to be in that alignment with you. So if they're not in the same frequency as you are, they're not going to come with you. Or vice versa. If you're not in the same frequency they are, you're not going to go with them. So we do outgrow people, places, and things based on our frequency. And the one thing for sure is that we never want to dip our frequency to match someone on a lower end of our frequency, just to be with them, because that actually does more spiritual harm to us than if we just stayed at the frequency we are and allow the other person to work their way up.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah. Do you understand that, Linda?
Yes.
Okay. So it does more harm to ourselves when we try to dip than if we just say, okay, our frequency is here, theirs is here. We're going to just let them work their way up. And understanding, too, that we do not all shift our frequency at the same time.
Mhm.
Everybody shifts at different levels and different times. So just because you're here, somebody's here, doesn't mean that they can't move themselves up faster and get to where you are, because for whatever the reasons are, you may end up going into what I like to call a plateau,
Right.
where something gets you sort of stuck.
Mhm.
So it gives this person who's here some time to get to you.
Mhm.
And there could be a universal explanation to why you're here, and I'm going to use the word stuck. You may not necessarily be stuck, but maybe at that point in time, you've done enough transformational growth for you at that point that there's really no reason for you to raise your vibration any higher until this person who's supposed to be with you gets up there. And that often happens too, where all of a sudden you might have not have been at the same frequency, and then 3 months later you find yourself right in line with the person that was not at the same frequency, and now you're moving along again.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden they might surpass you, and then now
That's
you
right.
have to go through yours.
Mhm.
So it's always going to be a ladder of time where maybe for a little bit you'll be balanced, and then one of the two of you will shift and force the other one to have to shift.
Mhm.
So when we think about domestic harmony,
Mhm.
it's all about the same thing with our family members. Everyone in our family members go through the same process of shifting, and we all don't shift at the same time. So what I like to do now is I like to invite you to just find a comfortable position to sit in, whether you want to lay down or sit in your chair, whatever it might be, resting your hands in your lap. And just allow yourself to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I'd like you to begin to just focusing on your breath. And just become aware of how you are breathing. Are you breathing quickly? Are you breathing shallowly? Are you breathing lightly? Are you having a hard time breathing? And just see, as you recognize the breath, you become more aware of your breath, how your breath becomes more at ease. And now take another breath, and as you take another breath, begin to visualize a white light just circling around your room. And as you see this white light circling around the room, you begin to feel the energy coming from that white light as it continues to circle. Now you begin to feel this energy flowing down, starting from your crown chakra, top of your head, and just gently flowing from one chakra to the next until you can feel this energy down by your root chakra, down at the tailbone, just visualizing this energy moving from one chakra to the next, from the crown, the third eye, into the throat, the heart, the gut, the navel, right to the tailbone. And let's just allow this energy to flow all the way down your legs to your feet. That you can feel this vibration at your feet on the floor, connecting yourself to earth. And the vibration is so strong that it actually breaks through the foundation. and then it breaks through the concrete. And that energy just flows all the way down into the earth, moving through fire, through the sand, through water, and having a magnetic connection through the clear quartz crystal that sits all the way at the bottom of the earth, connecting to Mother Earth. And as you feel this energy coming up from the clear quartz crystal, just feel it coming back up now, coming back up into the root, moving up into the sacral, moving up into the belly, the solar plexus, moving up into the heart, moving up into the throat, up into the third eye, and right back up into the crown. Now in this space, I like you to begin to visualize your family members that you are currently living with in this very moment. And just see yourself in the room with them all. And as you see yourself in a room with them all, just begin to become aware of the relationship you have with each one of them. And now I'd like you to visualize the room getting a little bigger. And you're going to be bringing in more family members, not just the ones you're currently living with right now, but more family members. Whether you have siblings, maybe you have nieces and nephews, you have children, bringing them in. Adult children. And just looking around and just visualizing the relationship you have with them. Now visualize the room getting a little bigger. And now you're going to bring in co-workers, employees. And just visualize the relationships you have with them. And let's make this room just a little bit bigger and bring in your closest friends. And as you bring in your closest friends, I'd like you to visualize the relationships you have with them. And now with all the people in this room with you, all the people, just sort of taking a glance at all the people in the room. And from your mind's eye, just begin to visualize one of those people that you would like to have a stronger relationship with, that you would like to be able to have better communication with, and all those people in there. One person that perhaps there's something you would like to say to them that you haven't had a chance to say. And know that as you do have this communication, you will be speaking with compassion and understanding. And also recognizing that each one of you have your own perception of whatever the conversation is. That there is no right or wrong. But you get to share your thoughts with one another. You get to hear what they have to say, and they get to hear what you have to say. And just sense, touch, and feel the energy of this conversation with this one person out of all the people in the room This is the person you wish to have a better relationship with. You wish to have harmony and balance with this person. Now I'd like you to take a deep breath in. Exhale the breath. And just thank them for this moment of conversation. Now in your mind's eye, I'd like you to go around the room. And with each person that's in that room, I'd like you to say to them one kind thing you like about them. And in return, that same thing that you are saying to them is what they are saying to you. And you're going to say this to each person. One thing to each person. Of course, it can be different, but going around the room and remembering that what you are saying to them, that's exactly what they are saying to you. One kind thing that you like about them. And do this with each person that's in that room with you. Now, hopefully you've made it to everybody in the room. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale this breath, now what I'd like you to do is, again, you're going to go around the room to each person. And you're going to either greet them. And however you would greet them, it could be with a hug, a handshake, a kiss, a wave. And it could be very different for each person. This is your opportunity to break free of the isolation and the loneliness as you make a connection with each person that's in the room with you. How do you greet each person? Now I'd like you to take another deep breath in. Exhale the breath. And this time, what I'd like you to do is, from wherever you are sitting in the room, I'd like you to just look at each person. And whatever one thing you don't like about them, I'd like you to find the opposition of that and see them as that. So for example, if somebody frustrates you, the opposition of frustration would be calming. So see if you can redirect your perception of them, and do this with each person in that room. So you're letting go of something you don't like about them, and you're exchanging it with the opposition of it. And when you go through this process, sense, touch, and feel the energy of your body, of how this makes you feel. When you can shift your perception of someone and see them in a different light. Now I'd like you to take another deep breath in and exhale this breath. And begin to visualize that beautiful white clear quartz crystal down at the bottom of the earth, activating all the way back up to your feet. That you begin to feel this energy moving back up into the root chakra, visualizing a bright red. Then moving up into the sacral, visualizing a bright orange. Moving up into the solar plexus, visualizing a bright yellow. Moving up into the heart, visualizing a bright green. Moving up into the throat, visualizing a bright blue. Visualizing the energy up at your third eye, visualizing an indigo. And feel this energy moving up into the crown, into your portal, expanding 6 inches above you, activating a bright purple light. Then just visualize all the people in the room with you. And each one of those people have a different shirt on, different color on, representing each one of your chakras. The room becomes beautifully a rainbow. And then as you visualize that beautiful purple light above you, 6 feet above, just begin to see that light changing to a beautiful white light. And feeling that white light moving down again into your third eye, into your throat, into your heart, into your gut, into your navel, into your tailbone, down into the clear quartz crystal. And as you look around the room, all the people that were there are no longer there. You're in your room alone. You begin to feel your energy back into the space that you were in. Knowing that this clear quartz crystal is recharging you, rejuvenating you, and restoring your energy. You begin to feel yourself sitting in the chair you are in. You can hear the noises in your room. With your eyes closed, you see the light in the room. And you slowly open your eyes. Nick, what is your emotional level at this time?
I was on mute, sorry. 9.
All right.
So dramatic improvement.
What's that?
It was a dramatic improvement.
Awesome. And Linda?
A 7.
A 7. Good. Am I reading my time right? I don't have my glasses on. Do we have 8 minutes left?
8.5 minutes, yeah.
Okay, good. Thought I only saw 51. I was going to say, hey, we got to rush through this. So Linda, you were a 7?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And Nick, for you, how did it feel to have all those people in your room?
Funny, I wasn't in the room, I was in my backyard.
Well, I was about to change that to whatever space you were in.
Yeah, it didn't want me to be inside. That was, so it felt good, it felt warm. It reminded me of all the big parties we had when I was younger where I never knew everyone who came. And it made me think about I started thinking about my 40th birthday, which is still another 3 years away.
Oh, okay.
But I thought, what better way, what better thing to look forward to than to have the 40th birthday to end all 40th birthdays, you
There
know?
you go.
And so I started seeing all the people who you mentioned who would be there. And I saw people who passed too, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's
Hmm.
possible too.
Yeah.
There was no restrictions of spirit guides and loved ones coming back in,
Yeah. So I just took that as a sign that I had to say things to them, which was fine.
or they had to tell
Wow.
you something as
They
well.
tell me, so yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
And
Thank
there's
you.
something else off camera. I'll tell you about that, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we could talk about that after when we get off this.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And Linda, how was your experience with all the people in the space that you were in, and where were you?
Um, I was pretty much here in the living room.
Did you have a crowd of people in your house, like Christmas
Hmm.
time?
My Christmas time. Well, like Nick said, it would probably be Christmas time at my old house where I grew up. Here no one really come. I mean, people have family visits, but we haven't had anything like a big thing here. So, it's kind of not the same as it used to be. Everyone kind of stays in their own little cocoon, so to
Yes,
speak. So,
yes.
or we go to other places, we go to other houses or something, but nothing really here. So, but it
Awesome.
was, yeah, I would say it was probably my old living room where I grew up. I was a huge living room, so I could take
Nice,
everybody.
nice, nice. Excellent. So it felt good to be able to have that conversation with the one person that you wanted to exchange some words with.
It's
Nick?
so funny because the person who is a friend I had the conversation with, but now I realize it probably would have been now another family member I would have had the conversation with, but I didn't even think about that. I don't even know if I even had her there.
Okay,
So,
well, the person who you had the conversation with was whom you needed to have the conversation with.
right, that's true.
You know,
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
whole
Yeah.
that's the whole beauty of when we meditate is that we come away from the logic and we allow
Hmm.
our higher self to step into whom it is we want to have the conversation with.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
as a human, we might say, okay, this is the person we want to talk to, but in the spiritual, in the on our higher self, it may be somebody else that we need to share some words with.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing that. And how about you, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of short conversations with people I needed to. My cousin from Florida and I should probably call her tomorrow now. I was talking with her about it, and it was a lot of it was about forgiving the anger I had when she moved down there 13 years
Okay,
ago,
good.
because we were just
Mm.
getting like really close, and then she abruptly moved down to Florida, and then I was angry about it, but I kind of got over it.
Okay,
I never really talked to her about it, and so that was an interesting conversation that we had.
good, excellent.
Mm.
And know that at any time you ever wanted to go back to this meditation to revisit this whole experience, you can do this on your own. Or for that matter,
Mm.
you can go to the YouTube channel and just find it there and do it again. So,
Mhm.
because being that now we are recording, the recordings are now being saved on YouTube. So these meditations are available for future purposes should you want to go back and revisit any particular meditation that has raised your vibration to a higher level. Because again, just for the sake of those who will be watching these on the YouTube, the whole purpose of why I come here at 11:11 with whomever joins me is to help to raise our vibration and to raise our emotional level. And our emotional level is in conjunction to our vibration, because when we have a low emotional level, it lowers our frequency. So if we can do whatever we can do to raise our emotions, that also raises our frequency as well, which helps to shift our energy. So I do believe these meditations are very powerful and also very helpful, especially in the times that we are in right now.
Right. Hmm.
So I'd like to thank both of you for being here this evening.
Thank
And feel free again to let your tribes know that we do this and share it on your page to let them know they can join us. Anybody can come. This is a sacred space, and we get to just enjoy each other's company, meditate. When we meditate in the group, the meditation is so much more powerful than we meditate by ourselves.
Hmm.
So anyone who you may feel could benefit from being with us, invite them in.
you. Mhm.
Okay. So I look forward to seeing both of you tomorrow night. And
Right,
whomever
everyone.
else wishes to join us, we again meet every night, Monday through Friday, at 11:11 p.m. Eastern Time, for our give and take 11-minute meditation, one card pull, as our card was all about domestic harmony,
Domestic
communication,
harmony.
building a new foundation around our partnerships and around how we communicate. So it was an awesome, awesome meditation. And
That was
thank you to the
awesome.
both of you for being here. And I'm just going to end the recording on my end. Nick, you're going to end yours?